pretty good opening round for you today, you know, in this tournament. So take us through your round, how it felt out there, what was the confidence level throughout the day?
Confidence was high as always. You know, those first, I call it 6 holes, where your adrenaline, you know, rushing and you get the tournament golf experience again. So getting through that was solid. I hit the ball pretty well. I just got to figure out how to putt. And you know, 18 points, probably my best start in this tournament, which, you know, within earshot of the guys that played a little bit better today. So it should be a fun weekend. And like Mark said, it's pretty competitive. There's a lot of guys within however many 5 points of the lead. So anything can happen this weekend.
Yeah, we see that Smoltz is at 21 points as well, and Pavelski's still out on the golf course with, I think, 21 points with 2 or 3 holes to play.
Dilfer's got 22 with 2 holes to play also.
So we're going to have a lot of guys in here. So why don't we open it up to the media and fire away, guys. Who?
Isaiah Burrows, Tahoe on stage. For both of you guys, what are certain adjustments you have to make to keep this rolling for day 2?
For me, I just got to make putts. I think I missed 3 putts within 5 feet and 3 putted 3 greens. So if I can figure that out, keep hitting it like I am, give yourself scoring opportunities, it should hopefully turn around. So that's the one thing that's hard to simulate when you're playing, you know, elsewhere, is that there's little nerves when you're standing over those 5-footers and you're really grinding. So just work that out and hopefully keep hitting, you know, good shots.
Steph, you said this is your best first round here, and you had mentioned it before. It's usually it's the first day or so knocking the cobwebs out. Did last year's experience in pro golf, did that help you kind of get ready for something like this? You know, kind of
a little bit. It's almost a year ago, so it's kind of hard to put yourself back into that mode. But definitely, when you test your nerves in a game that I play a lot, but don't get into these kind of, you know, environments very often. You can always kind of fall back to certain memories for sure, but every round you play, every shot you take is new, and that's the beauty of golf. You gotta kind of just stay in the moment. That's the best part about it.
Oh, Mark, can I ask you a question? Can you give an evaluation of Steph's game and what you've seen of him, his swing?
Well, 3 years ago when he first played the tournament, I go, well, he says, who's Steph Curry? You're a golfer? You know? And he goes, yeah, I've played a little bit of golf, Mark, you know. 28 points last year, let's not forget. You know, that's 5 under. You shoot 67 out here on these greens that's playing your ball. And there's the one thing that, you know, in 28 years of playing this golf course, Polana Greens, is you can't be aggressive on putts, and if you are, and you've got a 3-4 footer downhill for par, you're not hitting it but maybe 3-4 feet, and you're trying to and you're trying to die it in a hole, because if you know, you do not want to give away points. And being the year I won, I 3-putted once, and I didn't give away any points, you know, and I think that's the key to winning here, is not giving away 2. And if you hit a green and you 3-putt or you miss a green and chip up to 10 feet above the hole, you're basically lagging. You're not looking to make it. And I think that's advice that, you know, not really advice, but it's just becomes kind of human nature when you play this golf course, because 5, 10, 15-foot birdie putts, they're not guaranteed at all. Even 3-foot birdie putts. I had a 3-footer at 12, and I didn't come close to the hole. I had 5 feet coming back for par. And so you become really defensive, and it's just fun though to compete, and to compete with guys like, you know, Steph and all the guys that, you know, you watch in their particular entertainment or sport, and really appreciate what they do on the golf course.
Oh, Steph, one more. Is it easier to kind of do what you've done in the past before, is kind of sneak up on them the last couple of days, or is it going to be easier to play from near the top of the leaderboard now?
I don't know. I've never been like this close to the lead after the first day. So I think 5 years ago, after the second round, I was leading, and that was an eye-opening experience, trying to play, you know, with a lead and hearing roars, you know, in front of you, and knowing you still got to hit some good shots and keep your foot on the gas pedal. So I think tomorrow, just more of the same. Just, you know, have confidence out there, hit shots that you want to hit. And like Mark said, you got to sometimes be a little cautious on the greens, but if you have those opportunities where you're you're putting uphill, you got to take advantage of them and keep the momentum of your round going. And I think that's the key.
Hey, Rip, you've won this thing a couple times. What's the feeling going into the second round? You've been near the top the 2 times that you won, so how does it feel? I mean, any different thoughts going into round 2?
Well, round 2 is kind of puts you in position for Sunday, and you know, Steph hit the nail on the head. You kind of, unfortunately, you scoreboard watch, you know, but you don't realize if you're in the last group, they're 4, 5, 6 holes ahead of you, and you think to yourself, well, gosh, you know, that's a couple pars and a birdie, and I'll be ahead of them. So it's I think it's human nature to look at the scoreboard, but it's also tomorrow's a day not necessarily to think about, you know, making every putt that you get up there for birdie. It's basically put up a good score, get yourself in somewhat of a moving position to have a shot and play like Steph did last year on the 3rd day.
You both talked about how fast the greens are. What do you think they were running today?
It seemed like the downhill ones are running like a 15. I'm just trembling over them, trying not to hit them too hard. But I'd probably around 12.5, 13, somewhere in there. But like with the firmness of the greens, you're rarely below the hole on your approach shot. So that's the difference. But that 12.5, 13 can just be treacherous all day when you're hitting downhill putts and trying to be you know safe with them and cautious and trying to lag them. So they're fast.
Okay. I know it's only after day 1. Mark, you've won this twice. What would it mean to you to win this a 3rd time?
55, so I mean, Father Time is not in my favor. Yeah, I'd like to pass the torch, you know, to some of these young guys. And I know Steph, you know, he's been so successful in what he's done on the basketball court, and obviously, you know, to add something like this to his trophy case would be, you know, pretty cool. But you know, I don't have many more years, you know, of playing this quality of golf, and so I'm going to try to take advantage of it as much as I can and compete against these young guys. I don't hit it out of my shadow anymore, but it still goes left to right. If you hit it left to right out here, you still got a good chance.
Steph, same question for you. What would it mean to you to win this as an active player? Because only one active player has won this tournament, and that was Mario Lemieux back in 1998.
I didn't know that too. I thought that hadn't happened yet. So for, like you said, to win this tournament with the talent that's out here and the competitive nature, guys that have been successful in their sports and their industries and brought that nature to the golf course, it would mean a lot. I will say, I guess I don't think a basketball player has won before, so that would be pretty special. Is that right? That's accurate?
That's correct.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool. So it is kind of cool to see the amount of NBA guys we have out here. My dad, you know, Ray Allen, Vince Carter, Darren Williams, and John Smoltz, you played a little bit, and Kyle Lowry. So trying to get more of those guys out here, but to represent the league and the NBA and win this tournament would be pretty crazy.
All right, do we have any other questions? Okay, we do. Sorry about that, guys.
Guys, I'm just curious if you've seen Mark Mulder's score. I think he's only like +4, +5 after 15. And does that surprise you, and how does that change things maybe over the weekend?
Well, is he hurt? But I also saw his second shot at 16, and he's 10 feet below the hole for eagle. So, you know, you go eagle, birdie, eagle, it's 15 points, and you're right back there again. So I was very shocked to see that he was sitting at 4 after 15. Probably be 7 to 10. He gets into double figures, and he has a big weekend. You never know with him; he can still play.
I mean, same. He's obviously the 3P, which I hope to say next year, coming here that I'm a 3P champion, but of the NBA. But yeah, it's surprising, but like there's a lot of golf left, so you know, 36 holes to play, and anything can happen.
And you guys watch the leaderboard of the guys who are within those kind of 5 points of you. Who scares you the most?
Well, for me, the guys that have won before, Mark included, obviously, kind of an experience that we've had with the Warriors. Once you get over the hump that first time, it's kind of, you've convinced yourself that you can do it, you've proven that you can do it, and that confidence is beaming through you. I don't think you really get rattled, speaking for Mark, but I don't think you get rattled in that situation. I know every year is different, but you know, when you hold that trophy it's you carry that momentum, and yeah, those guys that have won, pretty scary.
And one more question.
I think guys like Schmaltzy, playing well. Steph's playing well. These are guys that play consistently well here. Pavelski, ever since he got here on this property, has played well. Trent Dilfer's playing real well. Obviously, Tony Romo has won an amateur tournament. John qualified for the U.S. Senior Open. So it's today's and tomorrow and the next 2 days are those guys are just as much a factor as Mark, even though Mark's probably only going to get into double digits. I still consider him a guy that can run a couple 30s at you and make a push. So, but it should be a fun weekend.
And since Phil asked my questions that I was going to ask, thanks, Phil. I have one quick question for Mark, and that is, I've heard you sing Piano Man with Artie. What did you do last night?
Well, Rascal Flatts played for me, and I sang. I wanted to get the ladies and their husbands and everyone. They come out here, and the guys are playing golf. I want to get everyone together and snuggle up. So I wrote a song 40 years ago for Eric Clapton called "Wonderful Tonight." I don't know if you guys heard of it.
You wrote that? You wrote that?
Yeah, I wrote that. Just kidding.
Well, you got. I mean,
don't buy all the yes, I have.
You're sitting next to Steph, who has a lot of talent. I figure, hey.
So I did sing "Wonderful Tonight," yes, but I couldn't believe what was more interesting was two white guys doing rap. I mean, Jeremy Roenick did
Funky Cold Medina.
Funky
Cold Medina.
Funky Cold Medina. Yep, and Brett Baer did. Come on, which one did he do? Party something?
Brett Baer?
Dinger? Anyways, they rapped and they were really good. And they unseated maybe the best singer in the whole group was Alfonso, who's speaking of two-time champions of karaoke, he was Alfonso. He got upset yesterday.
All right. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Good luck tomorrow. Appreciate your time in the media room.